We have a cake fit for an African safari. It has the zebras, the lions, the tigers, the elephants. It is a great cake.
Well, it's cute. It'd be good for a birthday party, but you could also adjust the theme so that you could do something tropical with it too.
Well, it is great. How did you get to this point?
Well, let's start over here and make our palm trees first. And what you want to do is, I have a mini ball pen here, but you could also use a styrofoam half. Put some foil over it. And this is royal icing. Now remember, royal icing is the one that has the meringue powder
firm
in
a
it.
lot faster. Okay.
Yes, and it does dry. So I've got a 366, which is a very large leaf tip. And
So it has the point in the middle, right? Or the
just like
cutout.
that.
Okay.
So I'm going to let it build up on top and squeeze, squeeze, and then just pull it down so that you're actually having the leaf come down a little bit again.
And how long will it take these to set up?
I would let them
Nancy?
dry at least overnight. Now you see what I'm doing is I'm kind of making a Y. Now you can make them as long or as short as you want to, and then go in between and add another section. So you're doing 6.
Okay. Yeah, you have this on a turntable here, which allows you to move it back and forth. But the dome is giving it the
shape.
the umbrella shape, right? For
So that's all you need to do, and you could do 3, you could do 6, and then you want to make sure that you let them dry, and this is how they dry. I actually have another one over here turned the other way so that you can see what it looks like.
and these are pretzel rods
Yes.
that are your bark, the formation of your tree, right?
Now I have cut this, you can't really see, but you can make them different heights, but you want to make sure that you cut them off so that you have kind of a rough tip here, so that it
just
actually,
flattens
yes,
it?
it'll
Okay.
adhere a little bit better. And then you just use a really large tip, like
Is this still royal or is this buttercream?
this is royal,
This
because
is still royal?
buttercream doesn't dry hard enough. Royal icing is like glue. So you're just going to mound this up here so that you have a nice little mound.
And you have the napkin right here. I don't know if people have noticed that, but it's a damp napkin, and it's actually to keep the tips moist because the royal sets up so quickly, right?
Yeah, it will clog. And because this is royal icing, I just left my buttercream under there too. But you can see I have like a large mound like that, and if you want to just hold it for just a couple of seconds until it dries, and then this is what they look like after they've dried. So you can also position some things around it if you want to.
Because these are heavy. Once you have six leaves on this, you do need something to hold that weight up.
Now what I'm doing here is I just have a tip 16, and I'm just putting some grass around.
Now, did you color this green, or it came this way?
No, I colored it
You did
green.
color it.
So what you're doing is you're basically making a star tip, but you're pulling it out so that you get your grass to come up so it looks like grass. There's also a grass tip, a number 233, that you can use to make grass. And I'm just going to, put a little bit of you don't have to make it in a perfect circle. In fact, I've decided I'm not going to. I do kind of sometimes what the spirit moves me. But you can see there, and then if you come around and put some extra in there, it makes it look more like real grass.
Okay, because you want the points. That's
You
the
want
whole
the
purpose
points,
on
yes.
this one, right?
Yes, and then you would also use the same technique to do your border.
Okay, the border is it like 3 deep, or you've just got it going however you want?
However you want it. You can make it a couple deep, but again, the same technique. So right above the surface, and then just pull it out.
So you want to give it some height and dimension to make it
Yes.
look like it's growing out from the bottom of the cake. And while we give you these ideas, we want you all to run with your own version, of our cakes. You don't have to do it the exact way. Now these are icing
These
decorations?
are icing decorations, and we're just going to position them on the side of the cake. And if if your cake has started to dry a little bit, then you might want to put some icing underneath. So under the hot lights it dried a little bit, so you just put a little bit of buttercream icing on it and just position them around. You can use as many as you want. When you take them off the card, one of the things I like to do is put a spatula underneath them, because sometimes if you try to just pull them up without the spatula,
Will they break?
They might break. Now I want to show you how to make the water. So with the water, I just have icing color, and then this is some piping gel, and you buy the piping gel.
Is this like a glycerin, sugar, corn syrup mixture?
It's a sugar water.
And you just put a little bit of glue in there. And it
Or a
picks up
lot.
the color. Picks up the color pretty quickly, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it does. And then you could put this on with a spatula or a spoon, but quite frankly, I think it's a lot easier to do if you put it in a disposable decorating bag. And we'll just cut the tip off of the decorating
So you're just
bag.
going to pipe it on there. How much fun.
And you see how much that looks like water?
Yeah, it does.
And it just kind of flows in, so you don't have to worry too much about how much you put there. And when you actually eat it, it just tastes sweet.
And you know, the kids, of course, will want that slice of the cake right in the heart.
Have a napkin ready.
Nice
Now,
blue teeth.
Let's go ahead and we're going to put some
This
dirt.
is your sand, right?
This is dirt or sand, and this is just brown sugar. And we're sprinkling that around the outside because obviously you've got, you know, some dirt around your watering hole.
And when it dries, it will probably dry a lighter color, right? It's a little rich brown right now, but it might dry just as good.
And then we can actually put our palm tree in and just stick that right there into your cake.
When you're doing your actual cake, do you need to make your hole before you do that, or it doesn't really matter?
No, you can just position it in there, and you can see there. I'm going to put some grass around that because you'll have some grass that will come outside your actual watering hole.
Now, Nancy, would you flavor your cake on something like this, or would you just do a white cake?
You know, it's whatever you want. And you can see, again, just that grass tip. I'm not really using any particular pattern. And then we could just put our little animals on top. They come this way. Sometimes you can find these things in candles. Sometimes
these
you
are
can find
just
them just as
plastic,
toppers.
right?
I'm going to put the lion out front since we're talking about lions, tigers, and bears. And you can see how easy this is to do. Now, if you think you're going to need more servings than what this cake actually might serve, you could put cupcakes with it. And you could do the same thing, just tint your icing green and ice your cupcakes, then put your grass around it if you wanted to. You could use, like I said, your tip 233. You can actually use one of your small leaf tips, like a 67 or 352, to make the grass if you had that. But a star tip, most everybody that does cake decorating does have a star tip.
And the cupcakes are great now. I mean, they're really popular, but they're an individual serving. It's a small serving for a child, so everyone gets the exact equal amount. And you know what grown-ups are now learning, what kids have learned for a long time, or they've known, is that cupcakes are wonderful. They make you feel special.
Well, they do, and especially if you're trying to extend the number of servings from your cake.
I have a question. May I try the grass
Sure,
with
here,
the
why don't you
green
put
while
some
you're
grass
just
on
to
there?
see?
Why don't you finish up
if
some
I
of the
can do
border
this.
there?
Now, do I hold it at a 45-degree
Yeah,
angle?
about a 45-degree angle, and just make sure that it touches your cake and comes out. And you know what? It doesn't make any difference what it looks like. It can be tall grass, it can be short
You wanna
grass.
see?
Can
I'm
you
not
see what
sure
Melanie's doing there?
I'm not sure I want the camera to pick it up.
Sure
but
you do.
Anyway,
It's
but if
really
you practice.
It's really easy. It's one of the basic techniques, and usually you're trying to prevent the little points on your stars when you're making them, but you know, in this case, you actually want your points.
Okay. Well, that's buttercream and royal, pretzels,
Brown
and-
sugar, piping gel with some icing color.
and some animals, and you have a cake and a great creation that the kids will just go wild over. They'll be swinging from the trees.